Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for this episode, I want to be able to explain and kind of break out world traffic operations. Um, for those of you who have world traffic already installed, you notice that that some airports, some downloads, you'll see files, your airport files, what have you, for world traffic, but some of them are actually missing um, airport operations, right? I'm gonna demonstrate and show you, and we're gonna walk through how to create airport operations. What's the purpose and reason for airport operations files? Airport operation files actually create the flow of traffic, the correct flow of traffic that accurately comes in based on the change of wind, right? You wonder why aircraft is coming in your direction while you're taking off. Well, maybe world traffic doesn't have proper airport operations that needs to be fixed. Those files need to be fixed. First off, let me show you the files that I'm talking about here, world traffic. So when you go into world traffic, when you click on the world traffic file in itself here, so here's the standard files you see here for world traffic. Some downloads you have your ground routes, of course. Aircraft types, maybe what have you. But this folder right here, world airport operations. This is huge, folks. Now, when I click on it, you'll see all of my airport operations that I actually created. A lot of these myself. Some download world traffic files don't have that airport operations. Some, luckily, you do get them when you find them and you install them. But then again, some of them you do download and install. Some of them aren't even correct or right as far as proper trafficking. So it's important that we actually figure out how to create that traffic ourselves, look at the airport operations that we actually have, and make sure they're actually correct. Okay, again, ground routes, arrival, departure, or what have you. Okay, that's self-explanatory. The standard routes you get, parking definitions. Okay, we all get that, right? Right. But let's dive into one of these here airport operations. Say, for instance, say for example, I download Fort Lauderdale, right? And I have the parking definitions for Fort Lauderdale, and I have the ground routes for Fort Lauderdale, being the arrival and departure. The one file I don't have is airport operations, and or I may have airport operations, but it's just not. It's not traffic's not flowing right. So if you do have airport operations, and if you don't have airport operations, let me open this folder up for you here. Airport operations. So let me just use this as an example here. So if I capture, for instance, let me just use I don't know. Let me just open up ATL, Atlanta. Okay, well there's my airport operations for Atlanta. All right, you're probably looking at it saying, "What the heck is all this?" But I'll explain to you, and we'll step through it, and we'll show you how to set this up so you can get proper aircraft coming into your airport the way it should be coming into your airport. Okay. Now, as an example, okay, well, I have airport operations for Atlanta already, but I'm missing airport operations for Fort Lauderdale. How do I create them? Okay, so first let's open up your airport for Fort Lauderdale. Okay, and right now I'm using the Navigraph charts as far as the Fort Lauderdale airport here. Couple things you're going to need. Number one is, the airport chart itself. Look at that. And you also want to look at your approaches as well too. We're going to be looking at our approaches, the ILS, RNAV, localizers, and all that. So, when we go into those airport operations, you'll see how all this comes in play as well too, right? So let's stick with initially the airport. I'm gonna pull this off to the side now. I'm gonna pull this here off to the side. And let's look at this Atlanta one now. Now, for instance, hey, listen, I want to use this same one that I have for Atlanta, but I want to create the Fort Lauderdale one. It's no problem. All this is just a file that needs to be saved as KFLL, being Fort Lauderdale. That's it. Save as, after you make whatever changes here, save as KFLL, and it'll populate in your world traffic. As long as you're here, you designate to come here, you're going to have this type file now saying KFLL, Fort Lauderdale. So you now have that file. Just save as. So let's just piggyback off of the Atlanta one because this one's already created. All right, so I want to create my Fort Lauderdale one. First thing first is find out which direction does traffic land and depart during calm winds. Calm winds meaning winds that are 5 knots, that are below 5 knots. Okay. So here we are. When we look at this here, 5 knots here. We look at this. Let's look at this line right here. Okay, we got winds from 0 knots to 5 knots. Okay, well we're considering that calm. All right. Now we got winds that pick up that go from 6 knots to 35 knots, whatever. We have 1,000 here just as a placeholder to mean that hey, that number can go as high as it wants to go, right? If it's from 6 to 30, if it's 6 to 10, if it's 6 to 100, it's gonna fall in this category because we have 6 to 1,000. Okay. Operations 13, that's just a comment there. You can do operations 10, operations 5, however you want to designate this here line. But these are unique though because what it is that the 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is important to know. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when we look at the airspeed, we also have to look at the direction that the airspeed's coming as well too. Now, for calm weather, we really don't care which direction that calm weather is coming in, whether it's coming in northeast, southwest, or what have you. We don't care. So when we look at our scale, our directional scale, 0 degrees all the way around to 360 degrees. This covers everything. Low winds direction from 0 degrees to a whole circle to go around to 360 degrees. We don't care. We put it there. We put the whole circle there because we don't care. Anything that is 0 knots to 5 knots, we are considering calm. That's the first thing first, okay? So just get this here first stuff first set up first before you get into all this other stuff down here, which we'll explain. Okay. All right. So next line. Let's look at this next line here. This next line. Okay. So we have winds at 6 knots going up to 1,000, meaning it could be 6 to 30, like I said, whatever, 6 to 100 miles an hour, whatever. All right. So anything over 5 is no longer considered calm anymore. Okay. It's going to be directional wind in which we need to go ahead and send traffic. Now, this calm, let me go back to this calm real quick now. We're going to use this 0 to designate which airports represent calm. That 0 right here, that index 0 here is going to be our indicator that airport gets calm weather. You see what I'm saying? So that 0 right here is what we're going to use down below to program that, to set it. We're going to use 1 below for airports. We're going to use 1 for runways. For runways that have winds, I'm going to use an example. 6 knots between 6, I don't know, 30, right? It doesn't matter. As long as it's over 5, we got directional wind going in the direction between 90 to 180 degrees. So you look at your so if you look at your compass there and you look at it, okay, where's 90 degrees at? Where's 180 degrees at, right? So that's the travel. That's the direction of the wind. Is the direction of the wind is coming in at a 90-degree angle. Okay, 180-degree angle. That means it's going north. It's going from south to north. 90-degree means it's going from east to west. Okay, so we got winds that are going from east to west that are not calm because they're over 5. That one is going to be a placeholder as an indicator to represent that, and that one is going to tell world traffic to use these runways here. It's going to tell world traffic to use these runways for departure and arrivals when that wind is over 5 knots, being 6 knots. When it's over anything over 5, being 6 knots on and higher, in its direction, going 90 degrees from east to west, all the way through to from 90 all the way to 180. 180 going from south to north, directional. All right. This right here will be what we'll program below. Now, the next line that will show, see how we scattered this, right? We got 90 degrees on 90 to 100, 180 degrees, right? As a designator placeholder for the number 1 index. For the number 2 index, we're gonna go from 180 to 181. One degree now, 180 to 181 to start that next line. From the 181 degrees is where the wind is traveling from, all the way to the degree of 270, where the wind is traveling from. We're going to mark those runways with the number 2 because that's going to mean that that's the direction of that wind. And that's the way that's the direction that the aircraft need to properly follow as far as arriving and departing. Okay? Let's look at line number 3. See how we went from 270 to 271. 271, that's from what? That's from west to east, right? All the way up to the top there, going from north to west to 360. Going from north to south, 360. 360, winds are coming from 360 down south, from north to south. Is that wind's traveling? Wind is going between these here, between 171 and 360. The wind is going in between those in that direction. Okay, means that we will use number 3 for those particular airports. Okay, so they'll know that when the weather updates and world traffic, it knows which way to go. All right, the wind increases at 10 knots coming from 360 degrees. We don't want to treat it as if it's 90 degrees because the traffic's going to be going the wrong way. So this is to tell it where to go and how to maneuver, how to land, how to depart correctly based on wind, right? So let's look at this last one here, okay? This last one here is one from 1 degree to 89. Why not 90? Because we're going to be 1 notch away. We start off with 90 here, 90 to 180, right? So we're going to end When we come back around, we're going to end at 89. We made a whole 360 here, folks. If you look at it, right? So we came right back around 89 to 90, and it worked its way all the way through back to 89 and back to 90. So that is the wind from all directions right here defined right there. That's how you define all winds in all direction. Okay? All winds in all direction. This calm one right here is the most easiest one to capture. Now let me explain that real quick here. So if I look at my ATIS for Fort Lauderdale, and it tells me, like, let me pull up ATIS right now for Fort Lauderdale. Let me see what it looks like as we speak here. Let's just check that out here. Okay, Fort Lauderdale here. Now, what would I do in this case here? How would I how what would I do here? Right. So the winds are coming out of from a direction from 100 degrees at 16 knots. Okay. Well, which one would that be? The winds would be coming out of 100 degrees at 16 knots. Well, we know it's not going to be calm because it's 0 to 5 knots. That's calm. All right, so we're over calm. We're going at 16 knots now. The winds. So, what direction should World Traffic Operations think when it captured this through ATIS download here? 100 degrees at 16 knots. Okay, well, look, 100 degrees would come right here and number one index here, right? Winds are going from 90 degrees all the way to 180 degrees, right? Any wind that's traveling between 90 degrees to 180 degrees all get index number one. That means any airports with number one knows that when the wind is this direction, that's the runway they need to land on. Here it is right here. Now this is not Fort Lauderdale, but we're going to change this to treat it as Fort Lauderdale. This is still Atlanta, but we're gonna just use it and change it. So we already have we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We got a airport operations here that we can piggyback off of and make changes to and save as Fort Lauderdale. So the winds, imagine this being Fort Lauderdale right now, right? And winds are like I demonstrated, coming from 100 degrees, 16 knots. We know that it'll be designated as number one. So all those airports with the number one, traffic will be landing and taking off on those runways. Okay, so that explains that. All right. So I think we covered down pretty heavily on that piece here. Let's get our wins set up. Now let's go ahead and start making this change here. Let's treat this as this is Fort Lauderdale and start cleaning some of the stuff up, taking away some of this stuff. Just get rid of it. Well, how about this? Let's just grab it from the bottom. It's gone. I mean, we just grab it. All right. So keep that end runway ops there. All right. That's a placeholder so that it understands the language that ops is over for this one transmittal here. So just clear everything. Just clear it. Just clear it. Clear all this here. Just delete that off. Delete. Okay, delete it off. We'll just keep copying this here and making changes go away. The comments, folks, is whatever comments you want to use. Calm winds one, calm winds two. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the program here. We can get a little more in our next session as far as getting really technical with it. As saying, hey, we only want it to be at 1 o'clock in the morning to like 3 o'clock in the morning to fly. Calm weather such as this. That's getting really technical. All right. Haven't got to that point, and I really don't use that much because I really don't have a need for it. I just want my traffic to remain as is. I don't really care about designated times, start and ending, and that to me it doesn't matter. The wind's calm. I want it to fly. I want to take off and land at this particular airport when it's calm, flat out. I don't care about the times. All right. So, but you have options there. So, looking at Fort Lauderdale, let me pull our Fort Lauderdale map over. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Here's Fort Lauderdale map. Now, okay. Let me see if I can zoom this up just a little bit here. We'll just toggle. We'll toggle back and forth here. All right. So here we go. All right. So look at this. Let's toggle back. All right. We want to first set up our calm winds for Fort Lauderdale. And then you may ask, like, how do I know? How do I know? How do I know what runways Fort Lauderdale should be, pre-operations that they use for calm weather? How do I know that? You can always Google that. Google it and ask, or go to the airport operations procedures files or something. I'm gonna show you what I did for Miami. I just Googled, what calm during calm winds, which runways are used for Miami, and it gave me the tower Miami Tower agreement operations, and look what I found here during that calm winds. Calm winds meaning for Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Tampa, all of them. They're all gonna go east ops, meaning that they're gonna land in the eastward direction for calm. That means that calm means that everything's gonna land on 10 left and 10 right to the eastward direction. So that's one way to try to find out. Another way I use to find out is simply this. Um, I go on to SimBrief, and say, for instance, if I looked at my ATIS, and the ATIS is saying right now the winds are coming out 100 knots. I'm sorry, it's coming out 100 degrees at 3 knots. To me, that means calm because it's under 5, right? If I look at my ATIS right here, and if this was 100 degrees, showing 3 knots for Fort Lauderdale, and I went to SimBrief, and I created a flight plan here with Fort Lauderdale to Boston, and it gave me 10 left. 9 times out of 10, well, I will say probably 7 to 8 times out of 10, SimBrief is gonna be correct as far as the winds in which it's selecting its airports for departure. Most of the times, I had no issues that it's been wrong, right? So they do have the ATIS downloaded into this backbone of this software so that it can give us the proper runways on departure depending on current winds. Now, I don't know how frequently that's updated, but um, I have not seen it demonstrate anything wrong yet. So, but okay, so the winds are 3 knots at Fort Lauderdale per the ATIS that I looked at. And I go here to SimBrief and I download what have you, and it gives me 10 left. And I know, okay, Fort Lauderdale is flying in the eastern direction during calm winds. And there's many other ways to try to figure it out, try to find out what airports represent calm winds. That's the main thing there is find out what is their standard runways they use during calm winds. All right. Google it, use your sources, find out you can research what have you, look at procedures, airport procedures and stuff like that. You can always find it. All right. But it's important to know that and have that. All right. So during calm weather, calm winds, I'll say we're Fort Lauderdale is flying eastbound. So they're landing on 10 left and 10 right. Okay. So what I want to do here, let me move this. I'm sorry. Let me just pull this out of the way here. So what I want to do here. So we deleted all the other stuff, right? And we'll keep repeating this. We'll keep changing as go along. This is Atlanta stuff that we're just biting off of, and we're gonna go ahead and save as. for Lauderdale when we're done, right? So we want to change this first one here that you see. Let's change it to runway 10 left. If my mouse works. I mean, if my keyboard works. Give me a second. Okay, let's change this to 10 left here. 1 second. All right, come on now. Really? All right, 10 left. All right now. Keyboard's acting funny on me. 1 second. There we go. That was strange. All right, so 10 left. Okay, and we want to put 10 left here again. Now, so let's see what we just did here. Right now, we are telling world traffic anytime there's calm winds, that winds are between 0 and 5 knots, you are to take off and depart all flights from runway 10 left. That's what we're telling it right there. Okay. All right. Arrival 1, departure 2. 10 left, 10 left. One line each. Okay? This is for arrivals to come in 10 left during calm. And this is departures coming taking off 10 left during calm. All right? Now what about let's move on. What about 10 right? Yeah, why not? That's still eastbound, right? Eastbound flight landing. Let's copy that and paste. Okay. Well, what do we do here? Let's just change this and make it easy. Make it easy, folks. Well, guess what we did? Calm landing procedures is done for Fort Lauderdale. That's it. Any calm weather that comes up during your flight, I can guarantee you that world traffic is going to know programming that this being a file that it'll recognize and know what to do. It's gonna fly this every time when the winds are calm. Okay. All right. So now, um, so that's that. So what about the so that's all we actually want to do. We want to designate the direction that we want the traffic to go during these events here when the winds are at calm. Now let's look at the next one here. All right, so when winds are 6 knots and greater, but they are coming from the 90-degree angle to 80 degrees. Okay, winds are going west, right, for 90 degrees, and they are going between 90 degrees and 80 degrees from south to north. What runway should we go as far as traveling for headwinds to land your aircraft appropriately? We will still use 10 left and 10 right. The winds are coming from this direction. From 90 degrees, we still want to go to the headwinds of when we're landing, so we can get lift. 10 to 180. Might get a little crosswind here as you're landing, but we still want to go 10 left and 10 right with the winds, which is coming from 90 degrees all the way to 180 degrees, right? All right, so what do you do in that case here? All right, check this out. We know we're going to use 10 left and 10 right again. We just looked at that, right? Why not just copy that? Those 4 lines, paste it, change each of these to 1. Okay. Now, 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 world traffic knows what to do when winds are at a 90 degrees and 180 degrees that are greater than 5. Any winds that are greater than 5, it knows what to do if it's coming from those angles. World traffic knows what to do. It's going to be doing the right thing. It's going to be sending that traffic to 10 left and 10 right as well for winds that are 6, not only calm, but 6 knots and higher, coming from the direction of 90 degrees to 180 degrees. Okay, so that's that. We want to get each of these. We want to get 0 to 4 here. Next one, all right, we want to put here. Number 2. So here's where things going to start changing up a little bit here now, folks. We have winds coming out of, let me see, we got winds coming out 181 degrees to 270 degrees. Okay, so 181 degrees to 270 degrees. We got winds going in this opposite direction now. Winds are coming up, but coming in out all the way through to the opposite direction now. Which runway do we want to use for landing? We want to use 28 right and 28 left because we want to go towards the winds. Right? So here's where that change is going to take place. Let's copy these last 4 again. Copy. Let's paste the last 4 there. Let's change these to number 2 because we're now looking at setting this program up in place, this file in place, so world traffic can know what to do. We're looking at winds going at 181 degrees angle to 270. We want to land that traffic on 28 right and 28 left. Okay, let's put it in there then. Let's 28 right, 28 right, 28 left, and 28 left. That's arrival and departure for each of them. 28 left, 28 right, arrival and departure. 28 left, arrival and departure. Now you can like I said, if you change this, yeah, I have calm here. This is not. This is however you want to define it. If you want to say, hey, all ones I want to be called 13 ops, so be it. That's however you want to designate that as, if that's what you want to do. It's not gonna make no difference as far as programming. This is just comments here for your own tracking. Call it ops if you want, and then what number 2? What do they call number 2 here? Ops 22, whatever. Okay, we'll just do that so it doesn't say calm. Not gonna have nothing to do with your programming. It's not gonna mess your stuff up or nothing. All right, that's just comments there. Okay, however you want to put it. All right, so there we go. We're halfway done now. We got next one 3. We got winds coming out of 271 degrees, 360 degrees. 271 degrees to 360 degrees, going north to south. Which runway we want to use? We still want to use 28 right and 28 left because that wind is still going in that direction. All the way up to 360 when it's going to be hitting us pretty much from the side, really. But we want to still use that same angle there to be going against the wind. Okay, well, make it easy. Copy. We have 4 more lines to go there, and change these up to index number 3, as we see up above. 3 represents winds coming from 271 to 360. All right. And we still want to use 28 right and 28 left for that. Okay. And of course, if you want to, you call it 3-1 ops, so be it. Call it 3-1 ops or whatever you want to call it. Just, just put it there. We got one more to go, and we are done with telling world traffic what to do and how to do it based on the wind. Number 4, index number 4. Winds coming from 1 degree to 89-degree angle. Winds coming from 1 degree all the way down to 90-degree. Well, winds are going to be going westbound. They're going to be going southern, but still turning. Winds are going to be still going in that direction there that we're going to be setting anywhere between 1 and 90 degrees. So that means that I want to be landing on 10 left and 10 right because the winds are coming from the 90 degrees. It's coming from 10 degrees. It's coming from 20 degrees. It's coming from 15 degrees. I want to hit that wind in front of me. So I want to use 10 left and 10 right for that. That's what I want to use for that. Okay, well, shoot, let's create four more. Let's create 4 more. Let's drop it there and put index number 4. And what runways we want to use? We want to use 10 left for arrival, 10 left for departure, 10 right, 10 right for arrival, and 10 right for departure. Folks, we are done. We are done with those with world traffic now knowing what to do and how to do it based on wind calculation. We will not have aircrafts no more running nose to nose with you in the wrong direction. And it's so annoying when that happens. Now that is fixed right there. Now there's more to go now, folks. There's more to go. Stuff gets fun, I tell you, it does. It's not a lot more, but it totally. So this right here, we'll go all the way down and start from the bottom. We'll go from the bottom now, work our way up. What does it say here? Set this to 1 to use Navigraph approaches. If you already got Navigraph already, just leave this alone. Just leave this as is. There's no changes, nothing you do here. This right here, text text file, when world traffic snatches this and uses it when it's loading, it's automatically going to go grab those your SIDS and the stars and what have you from Navigraph. As long as it's set to 1, those flights will fly via the Navigraph approaches that's designated there. Okay, so again, start SID settings, in start SIDing. I don't mess with none of this stuff. Just leave all this stuff here alone. We can go to another tutorial, talk about all this, but this does not. When I leave this alone, it does not affect me at all for none of my flights or nothing like that. It follows my SIDS and stars based on updates from Navigraph and everything. Like, just leave this alone. Don't mess with it. All right, make it simple. All right, and there it is, Navigraph stars approach settings right there. The whole section, let it be. All right, now this right here. Okay, this right here. This is that time buffer that that's designated for aircraft types. Now let me explain this here a little bit more. So when you have aircraft that you see on a runway that's about to take off on world traffic, and another aircraft pulls up behind it, and literally lines up with it, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not there. If these start time buffers are there, then that will hold that traffic for the amount of time you set here for it to hold. 60 minutes, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 75 seconds, whatever. Okay. And it's dependent upon what type of aircraft type. Okay. Well, hey, how you gonna find your aircraft type? Your aircraft type is designated here. Here's your aircraft types here. Okay, one if it's a super heavy, two it's a heavy aircraft, three if large prop, medium prop, four. So yeah, if it's a super, um meaning that it's a Airbus 380 or something like that, um then then that's number one. You know, then you make sure that you designate this one here as a 90 minute, a 90 second, so it can have a buff time in 90 seconds before anything else line up for it, because the wake and all that stuff. Folks, don't change this. Leave it alone. Just let it stay just like that. There is no point in changing any of this neither. So again, from here down, just leave it alone. Make it easy for you. Okay. Same thing with this. Yep, general airport settings. From here all the way down, nothing to do. Leave it. And everything is going to run flawlessly. This is where we need to make changes at right here, folks. Right here. Support aircraft type, support approaches, and what have you. All right. Um, Now, this is all Atlanta stuff here. This is all Atlanta. This is all Atlanta stuff here. All right. Let's use this. Let's use this as an example. Let's first let's capture. Let's just do. We got 10 left. We got 10 left, 10 right, 2 8 right, 2 8 left. Let's do 10 left and 2 right first. Let's put them on the grid. Okay. Let me just put 10 left here. And okay, just keep it clean. 10 and 10 right here. Okay. Let's put the other runways 2 8 right here. Okay. And we want to put 2 8 left here. Okay, those are all of our runways. Let's get rid of all this other stuff there. Okay, that's all of our runways, right? Now, what we want to set up here is we want to tell world traffic what type of aircraft are we gonna allow to land on 10 left, 10 right, 2 8 right, 2 8 left. If we have a little tiny runway off to the side somewhere, let's put the Cessnas on that runway. Let's keep all our big aircraft on the main runways. You know what I mean? This is where that happens. All right, this is where that happens. This is how we set to keep those Cessnas from interfering with the big traffic. Keep them on their runways, right? All right. So this in approaches, we have our charts out, so I can talk about the approaches here to set them. Okay. Um, Now I'm telling you, this is totally worth the work. You know what I mean? When you, especially, we have airport and you want it to be functionally right, and you can expect it to be right when you're arriving. You don't have to make no changes, nothing to it. You're expecting that the aircraft's gonna be landing, taking off where it should be taking off. This is totally worth the work for every single airport I have. If it doesn't have airport operations, um, I'm gonna go in and create them. If it already has airport operations, I'm gonna go check it to make sure it's right. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times I've been having to tweak them as folks as I'll put them out there. I'm having to tweak them because it's like, okay, come on now, really. Some stuff just really is just I don't understand how some folks get traffic still mixed up and they put operations out there, which is wrong. So okay, now 10 left. 10 left. Look at the length of this runway. It's 9,000 feet. 8,000 feet. Now, you ask like, okay, well, how do I know what aircraft land, at Fort Lauderdale, what have you? Go to FlightAware. Go to FlightAware and check out the airport, or go or Google, or go look up Fort Lauderdale Airport itself and see what type of aircrafts fly in there. So there you go. You have understanding as far as what flights come in what type of flights come in and out of that airport. Okay, so type of flights here is right here. Okay, all right. So for runway 10 left, right here, what aircraft do I want to land on 10 left? So what this is telling me, zero means nothing. Zero means nothing. It's aircraft type number 1, super aircraft. Number 1, super, is not going to land on my runway. I got a 0 for you, buddy. All right. Heavy jets. Number 2, showing heavy jets. I marked it as a 1. They can land on my runway. 1 is on, 0 is off. Okay, that's all this is. 3 says yes, large jets can land here. What is 4? 4, large props can land here. Number 5 is on to medium jets can land here. Number 6, so forth. Medium props, 7, light jets. All these are lit up as ones, meaning that's my on indicator. They're all gonna land there. So what I got 0 for, meaning that 9 are helicopters. I mean, I don't want helicopters landing on my runway 10. That's what that's telling right there. So that's how you define what aircraft is landing on which runway. Okay. All right. Support approaches, folks. 10 left. Okay. Support approaches. 10 left. Well, let's go to our approaches for 10 left. What do we show here for 10 left? We got ILS localizer, RNAV Z, and RNAV Y. Let's look at localizer, ILS localizer, ILS and localizer for 10 left. Aircraft that can utilize ILS and localizer, aircraft that can support that, right? Is what we're saying. Support approaches. Where support approaches? We want to look right here, right here. Okay. We know that 10 left we just saw is ILS, right? Well, I will accept ILS. There's ILS right there. DME. Number 2, light it up. 1 means on. If we want to do ILS Cat 1, ILS Cat 2, Cat 3, A, B, and C for ILS, turn them on. 3, 4, 5. We want, let me see what else here. We want RNAV. Let me see if it has RNAV. Yep, that's RNAV. 10 left accepts RNAV. RNAV is 3. 3 is on. 3 is on. 3 is on. 3 is not off. We're good. It has off for ILS categories. ILS categories 6, 7, 8. It has the off knob on them. Okay, that's fine. That is how we set them up here, folks. Now we have a runway that if we have, for instance, if there was a 10 left and a 10 right, but there was no approach procedures for 10 right, but it was a 10 right here, right? We could see that there's actually a runway here, but there was nothing here supporting that 10 right. That means nothing. I don't want to put no approaches on that at all. So with that, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make sure all that is 0, because I don't want no approaches to come on there, especially if my charts don't support it. All these should be 0, right? All my approaches should be 0 on that. So example, if 10 right was on my map and I had no approaches, right? 10 right had no approaches. Why do I want to approach here? Why would I want to approach here for 10 right if my charts doesn't have a 10 right for any approaches. ILS, and it's just nothing there. It have an airport there, but it has an airport here on the map for 10 right, but then there's no approach here. The 10 right wasn't here. That means it's not being honored as far as any approaches. 10 left has approaches, but if 10 right doesn't have approaches, and I do see a runway there, I'm going to take this off simply by going over that approach on that 10 right and take you out of there. That's good. That's good. 10 left departure there, and then 10 right departure here for aircraft coming in. The wind's at 90 degrees and 180. That's perfect, just like that. That's a good plan. That's how it works. All right. Well, folks, that right there pretty much sums it up. That and then of course then just save as, um, save as your KFLL for Fort Lauderdale into your appropriate file here, which into your airport operations file. Now, if any of you all, I do check my comments just every day. I mean, all the time. I check every day consistently, all the time. If I get any comments from any of you, as far as any assistance or any questions or anything that you want me to help out with an operations for you, if you have one of those big airports like O'Hara, something like that, and you got airports from every other angle, and if you want some assistance as far as setting up um, a airport operations, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Well, I'll go ahead and do an episode solely just to launch that for you and others to be able to capture that. So that's what I'm here for. We help out each other, and of course, let me know if any of you all have any questions or just want some good pointers, or would like for me to actually do a demo and help set it up for you as I'm doing now for Fort Lauderdale. Let me know, put in the comments, and I'll go ahead and make sure we make that happen. All right, folks. Well, that's pretty much all I want to cover for airport operations for world traffic. Please, of course, like and subscribe. I want to do a lot more of this stuff here. I got tons of things I want to put out there, everybody, as far as tutorials and stuff like that. I tell you, from top down, there's so much stuff out there to learn and capture. Make sure you're doing it right. If you have any suggestions of anything that you want me to immediately jump out on, put an episode out there, send it my way, and I'll go ahead and get an episode out on it. So just let me know whether it's with a particular aircraft or application or something such as the applications that we're using for our flights. Send it to me on comments, and I'll make sure it happens. So, all right, folks. Well, that's it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Everyone, have a good one, and bye for now.